Hey everyone, welcome to episode 35 of Piv's NXT Point of View podcast. My name is Bill Pivets. Before we get started, if you want, follow me on Twitter at bpiv_sports. Rate, review this podcast on iTunes, Podbean, wherever else you guys get your podcast. I greatly appreciate that. This week's episode, we saw the fallout from TakeOver Respect. Bayley opened the show. She talked about Dusty, the word respect, what it means to her, and that they brought the Divas Revolution to another level. She said the future has been validated, and then Alexa Bliss came out right after, which got things a little interesting. I wasn't expecting that at all. Alexa kind of mockingly said that she was in awe of her match and that nobody else deserves to be champ more than Bayley. Bayley didn't look too happy because she knew, like the rest of us, that something was up. Alexa Bliss raised Bayley's arm, but then she snatched the NXT women's title out from her, and Blake and Murphy stood in her way before she can get it back. Alexa Bliss said that people like Bayley aren't meant to be champ, and it will be a lot easier to take the title from her for real. It was a decent promo from Bayley. It was kind of obvious that she was like memorizing lines and just reciting them. I really didn't feel the emotion in her words. Granted, the words, I mean, they meant something, but I just didn't feel like she could have, I don't know, she just could have showed more emotion when she was saying them, especially about Dusty and the Divas Revolution. It's something that means a lot to her, but I just didn't get that from this promo. And Alexa Bliss interrupting, it was a nice twist. Like I said, I was expecting maybe Asuka or Dana Brooke, but those two are tied up right now, and there's really no other heel woman on the NXT roster, so Alexa Bliss makes sense. With Alexa Bliss improving in the ring, I definitely think they can have some nice matches. Some random interviewer caught up with Balor and Joe after they won the Dusty Rhodes Classic. Right as they were about to speak, William Regal interrupted and congratulated them. Balor said he couldn't be happier, and Joe said it was a pleasure to win. Samoa Joe then brought up the fact that he is undefeated and he came to NXT for one reason, and then slapped Finn Balor's title. Balor accepted the match, but Regal wouldn't allow it. He said since they've been so caught up in the Dusty Rhodes Classic, there's no true number one contender. Joe tried arguing, saying that he's shown himself in the ring, that he's proven it. But Regal pretty much ignored him and saying that there will be a battle royal to determine the new number one contender for Finn Balor's title. I like this segment a lot. Joe and Balor played off each other well as that more mutual respect. I'm better than you. No, you're not. I want what you have kind of thing. And William Regal was the straightforward, played down the middle, authority figure, something we don't really see on the main roster. So it was, I don't know. It was a good mix of talent and that quick little interview segment. We then got three quick little video segments with Apollo Crews, Rhino, and Ty Dillinger, just saying that they're going to win the Battle Royal, what it means to them, that kind of thing. And it quickly reminded me of the old school Royal Rumble videos of all the superstars, well, most of the superstars, saying that they're going to eliminate all 29 other superstars and go on to WrestleMania. And I liked it a lot. I like that they used some of the more popular guys and not some of the jobbers that were in the Battle Royal, just to show that anyone can win this. It was quick, effective, and it did what it needed to do. After all that, we finally got our first match between the Vaudevillains and Sawyer Fulton and Angelo Dawkins. The Vaudevillains won this match. The heels wore down Aiden English early, but Aiden was able to duck a corner splash and tagged in Gotch, and he took out both men. He landed a nice headbutt to the gut and then a double jumping knee smash on, I believe, Angelo Dawkins. After a running elbow in the corner, he landed a nice back suplex, and the Vaudevillains won with the Whirly Dervish. Decent match. Obviously, it's been a little while since we saw the Vaudevillains, so it was nice to see them back on NXT. And I like Angelo Dawkins and Sawyer Fulton. They're just really nothing to them. They've been losing a lot. They're good wrestlers, or sports entertainers, whatever. I just wish they would get some sort of a push to see what they can do with them, similar to Dash and Dawson. Even Jason Jordan, he's getting a nice push with Chad Gable now. So the tag team division, it's there. The pieces are there. They got to take time to put this puzzle together. Recently released, Devin Taylor interviewed Dash and Dawson, speaking of the Devils. She said that the match was impressive, the previous match, but they didn't think so. Dawson brought up that they defeated the champs in the Tag Team Classic, and Dash said that they are the rightful owners to the number one contendership, but Dawson said they should be champs, not even number one contenders, but they have to deal with Enzo and Cass first. So if you guys didn't know, Devin Taylor was released, so I guess we'll never get the conclusion on why Dana Brooke kept patting her on the head. Oh well. Nia Jax, we got the final vignette for her. She will be making her debut a little later. We then got highlights of the Asuka and Dana Brooke match from TakeOver. One thing I forgot to mention about that match was the best spot, most arguably the best spot of the match was when Asuka took down Dana Brooke and mocked Dana Brooke's taunt, doing the whole feeling herself up, doing the hands on the hip and the snap thing. I think I popped the most on that match. Second match was Evie against Nia Jax. Evie was this bubbly New Zealand chick just running around the ring, and when Nia Jax made her debut, wow. Talk about the anti-diva. Sorry, Paige. This is definitely the opposite of what all the other divas are. She's got to be close to 6 feet, if not taller, and she is big. Tall, wide, everything. She is a monster. No offense to Nia Jax, but in the women's division, they can definitely use this. It's not a bad thing. Definitely not a bad thing to have someone this completely different. But that onesie did not help matters at all. They need something different for her because it was not that appealing. Evie tried a clothesline, but Nia Jax just caught her and locked her in a bear hug. Evie was able to break free. She landed some kicks, and for some reason, after each kick, Nia Jax kept checking to see if she was bleeding for some reason. I don't know. She just kept patting her shoulder and looking at her hand for blood. I have no idea. That kind of took me out of that moment. Anyway, Jax caught Evie off the ropes by one arm and landed a nice spine buster. Some of the fans in the back were chanting rock bottom because of her relation to The Rock, but she got the win after that. It was what it was. We all expected her to win her first match, and she's probably going to win her next 5 or 10 matches. I have no idea how long it's going to go. But they definitely need to turn her heel. Definitely if they're going to keep Bayley as champion for a little while, having Bayley play up the ultimate underdog card against Nia Jax, that is going to be huge. But as for this match, I wasn't expecting much, so there's really not much else I could say. At this point, my stream did freeze a little bit, but when it came back, Eva Marie was in France and saying that she'll be seeing us soon. So, yay, we're not going to be seeing Eva Marie for a little while. I'm happy about that. Maybe she'll improve while she's in France. I have no idea, but she's not on this week's taping. Which brings us to the third and final match of the night, which is the number one contenders battle royal. I didn't have any idea how I was going to type this up and watch the match. I did actually have to rewind it a couple times to keep up with the eliminations, but it was a decent battle royal overall. Some of the other people that were in there, you had Tyler Breeze, Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, and Bull Dempsey. Rhino, Baron Corbin, and Samoa Joe were the only ones that made their entrances. At the beginning of the match, Rhino, Corbin, Dash, and Dawson all went after Samoa Joe. Tyler Breeze and Bull Dempsey fought each other. Early in the match, Joe went over, but he was able to hold on. There really wasn't anything that happened within the first couple minutes until Apollo Crews went on a little bit of an elimination spree. He got rid of Steve Cutler, Danny Burch, and Elias Sampson. He then caught Johnny Gargano off the ropes and threw him out of the ring as well. He got booed for that a little bit, but at this point the show went to a commercial. When they came back, I really didn't notice anyone missing. Murphy had a close call. He did have 1 foot touch. Cass threw someone, I didn't get the name, over the top and then knocked him off with a big boot. Dash and Dawson eliminated Cass. Enzo eliminated them. And Ty Dillinger threw out Enzo. So a little quick succession of eliminations right there, which cleared up the ring a bit. I was able to see who was left. Dempsey eliminated Ty Dillinger. Rhino actually saved Baron Corbin and threw out Bull Dempsey. Corbin eliminated Mojo. Ryder attacked Corbin, but Rhino attacked him back and then turned his attention to Joe. Corbin pulled Ryder from the top and eliminated him, throwing him out of the ring. Corbin and Rhino were talking a little bit, maybe talking strategy, but Corbin turned on him and threw him out. Rhino looked a little surprised as he was laying at the apron. Corbin kind of just shrugged and moved on. This is where they went to a second commercial break. Back from break, the only guys left were Apollo Crews, Samoa Joe, Baron Corbin, Blake Murphy, and Tyler Breeze. Ciampa was eliminated during the commercial break by Samoa Joe. Joe quickly tossed Blake and Murphy out of the ring. The crowd at this point was chanting for Tyler Breeze because God knows he can use a big win to get an NXT title shot. Joe slammed Breeze against the ropes and then landed a big boot to eliminate him. And at this point, Joe turned heel. The crowd was against him for a little bit. Corbin countered the Muscle Buster and then sent Joe to the apron. Breeze pulled Samoa Joe down from the apron and eliminated him. Crews and Corbin were the only two left. Corbin drove Crews shoulder first into the corner. Apollo Crews returned the favor. They went back and forth with some punches a little bit. Crews was able to get the upper hand. Corbin then caught him off the ropes with a two-handed chokeslam. Crews made his comeback, 2 clotheslines, then his corner splash. He then hit the standing moonsault, but Baron Corbin was able to get up. He went for the end of days, but Crews countered and landed some kicks before eliminating Baron Corbin to win. So Apollo Crews is your new number one contender for Finn Balor's championship. Interesting choice. These two really haven't had an interaction since Apollo Crews entered NXT. Anyone else, honestly, in the final four would have made sense. Obviously, Finn Balor and Baron Corbin have. Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, definitely, because we all expected Joe to turn on Finn Balor at TakeOver. And Finn Balor and Tyler Breeze have had a couple matches. So going back to that would have made sense. It's just weird seeing the face versus face dynamic in NXT when there was a couple heels that definitely could have won, especially if they turned Samoa Joe heel. It's just going to be an interesting. I don't doubt that these two can't work well together. I'm pretty sure they can. But it's just the story behind it. It's, okay, you won a Battle Royal. Here's your title shot. What are they going to build on? It's just my main concern. How are you going to get invested into this besides it being Finn Balor and an NXT championship match? Overall, it was a decent show. Really nothing to complain about or nothing to boast about. The Nia Jax debut was interesting, to say the least. Definitely wasn't what I expected. The tag team champions are back on TV, which is nice. And like I said, Apollo Crews is your new number one contender. Thank you for joining me for episode 35. Episode 36 will be posted around the same time next week. Enjoy your weekend or the rest of the week, depending when you're listening to this. And follow me on Twitter at bpiv_sports. Subscribe, rate on iTunes. Do what you can to spread the word. I appreciate it, guys. Also, this podcast will now be on YouTube. The last couple shows have been on YouTube, so we'll have it posted there if you don't get your podcast as well. So keep looking for it on YouTube and everywhere else. Peace.